Hello, people of the world. Today is January 27th, and we are doing our February 2026 production update at Sienci Labs. This month is a very busy month. Let's start off by talking about the AutoSpin T1. As you guys might have been following for the last year or so, we've been working on a router that essentially mixes the functions between a spindle and a router, and we're excited to say that we have finally launched that. Orders have opened up last week, and we are doing our official social media blast with the videos and all that content happening today. We are expecting our shipment for those units, 2,000 routers, to show up around the end of this week or the start of next week, and which means that customers will start getting those routers within the next 2 weeks. Altmill 4x8 production is underway. We have started getting in parts, and we will continue to get parts based on our schedule, with the last group of parts arriving between February 20th and March 6th. Production team will start assembly based on the parts that we get, and with the goal to start shipping in March. We have started the filming and the resource development for the assembly for the 4x8. We've gotten lots of great feedback from our beta testers. We haven't run into any major issues, and so we've been continuing to tweak and improve the assembly process and the user experience of the 4x8 as a whole. I've also personally been using the 4x8, especially during the holidays and the last couple of weekends, to work on some of my own projects, and I have to say that it's pretty exciting to be able to make bigger furniture and bigger projects. So looking forward to having that batch of machines start to ship in the next month or so. Next up, we have the LongMill MK3 development. We have received our first batch of prototype rails, and so Nikila, one of our engineers, has been assembling that and doing the testing. We're making small tweaks to the design, and we're kind of working on different aspects of the machine to bring the price point as affordable as possible. We're really excited about the results so far. The machine's been very easy to put together. As we mentioned in the previous updates, we're able to reduce the unique part count by about 30%, and we expect that the assembly process to be cut down by quite a significant amount as well. There's a couple of things that we've worked on so far. First is the change in the dust chute design. We have adjusted the design so that it's easier to manufacture. We've also recognized that a lot of people tend to break their dust shoes, whether by accident or just through wear and tear. And so not only is the new dust shoe more robust, but we've also made it much easier to just replace the bristles, which ends up being the first thing to wear out. And we are planning to include extra bristles in the dust shoe kit, which means that we can greatly expand the dust shoe life and also bring the price point of the dust shoe itself down as well. We're also working on making improvements to the cable and the cable management. The cables that we're using is shared with the altmill. However, they're longer and more robust than they need to be for this particular application. So one of the things we're doing is to kind of unify the cables into one single cable, which makes it easier to assemble and also cheaper overall. Peter and Daniel and the rest of the engineering team has been working on an improved version of the SLB-EXT. Right now we're calling the SLB-Lite, but functionally it won't be light at all. Some of the main things with the SLB-Lite include basically getting into a smaller and lighter package. We're also optimizing the design to improve the cost of the board itself. Right now, we're expecting the cost of the board to be about half of the price of the old board, which means that we can bring that cost savings to the LongMill, like most importantly, as this is kind of focused as a more hobbyist-friendly budget machine. But because there will be interchangeable between the altmill and the LongMill, we're able to unify those two lines of control boards. Right now we have the regular SLB, which has the integrated drivers, and the SLB-EXT. Basically, if we can double the number of boards we're making every year, we can also experience some cost savings due to the economies of scale. Also with this, and also with the project for the integrated cables, we will improve the plug designs as well, which makes it easier to assemble and more robust overall, and also reduce the cost of those components as well. We're also going to make it more compatible with a wider set of voltages. So if you guys don't know, the SLB or the boards used for the LongMill are rated for 24 volts, whereas the altmills run on 48 volts. Right now for the closed loop steppers kit that we use as our kind of like test bed for the LongMill right now, we have to provide the 48 volt power supply. So basically we have the same power supplies as the altmill, which are very big and very heavy. Because we don't need that level of power for the LongMill, we are making it cross-compatible. So if you plug in a 24 volt power supply or a 48 volt power supply, those will be able to work on the same board, which means that the LongMill will be less expensive because the power supplies are also less powerful and less expensive. We also are considering the shipping. As you guys know, we pack everything into boxes that are very compact, which makes it easy for people to get the machines and get them through the door. They don't have to worry about freighting and whatnot. However, for every gram that we can save and also the volume of the packaging we can reduce, it also means cost savings to the customer as well. We have a picture on the blog, but you can see there's a significant reduction in the size while keeping the same functionality or improving the functionality. So the first long board, which is the one in the steel case, versus the current board, we've reduced the size by about 80%. So it makes it easier to find a place to put the controller, and also just makes it easier to ship overall. Knowing that we also have a line of accessories, like either being in development, coming out, or have recently come out, such as the ATC, and other, well, you know, secret, or not secret, but like too early to say. We've also included a way to add additional boards to extend the functionality of the the SLB-Lite, which means that if you need, like if you get the SLB-Lite and you're like happy with it, then you just use it the way it is, and you don't have to pay extra. And then as soon as you're like, oh, I want to add extra functionality, the advanced functionality, then you can plug in extra boards onto that board, which will extend the functionality, and each of those boards will be cheaper than if you were to buy just the SLB-EXT as it is now. So it won't be more expensive simply because we're adding more stuff to the board. I don't know if that makes sense, but we'll go with it. Read the blog. I think I'm more cohesive that way. LongMill MK3, we have been testing it with the closed loop steppers. We haven't done specific rigidity tests yet, but I can say by just using my hands and so on and so forth, the rigidity of the new LongMill is significantly higher, and we've tested it up to like 30,000 millimeters per minute, which I can't remember what the conversion is. Let me look. 1,180 inches per minute. I think that might be wrong. Maybe it's the acceleration, but it is way faster. Like at least 4 times faster. When we compare the altmill and the LongMill, the original LongMill and the original altmill, we roughly estimate about an 8 times improvement in rigidity and cutting ability and all that sort of stuff. Between the old LongMill and the new LongMill, there may be about a 4 times difference. We close the gap between the new LongMill and the new altmill, which means that you'll get a lot more for the money on the new LongMill. And obviously, as we said before, our goal is to keep the price points approximately the same. It'll be awesome. Definitely be really awesome. Daniel just put out a call for beta testers. We are testing new firmware for all SLBs, SLB-EXT. There's some small improvements to the stability, as well as some other improvements. So for example, we have better handling of motor alarms and resetting. So if you guys are regular users, there's usually a delay where you click, when you crash the machine or do something bad, there's a delay before the motors can restart. We've programmed it so that we can software control the resetting of the motors. So based on the circumstance of the situation, like we can intervene more effectively. We now have some more advanced support for stuff like automatic tool changers. The one thing that I'm particularly excited about is to unlock the SD card support features for the SLB-EXT and the SLB. And what that means is that you can run macros, you can run G code, you can run additional code directly from the SD card, which is already integrated into all the current boards. We just haven't openly unlocked all the features yet. That kind of leads to perhaps the long-term goal of being able to reduce the need for reliable connection between the computer and the control board, because the controller itself can run the G code. Like, I know people understand, it's just really hard to like explain it, because in my head it all makes sense, and in my mouth it doesn't make sense at all. But I think that what really matters is we're always trying to just improve the reliability of the machines itself, and we're excited because this new technology will basically help with that. We've also released a new video on all the things that we liked, or like all the things that the software team worked on for gCenter 2025, and we have a sneak preview of G26. If you'd like to check out that video, check out our blog. There's a link to that. I also heard, and maybe it's like too early to say, but the software team today at the town hall has mentioned that the loading times for the new gCenter Edge is about 80% or 90% faster than it was before. So there's been new optimizations for the loading. So yeah, if you guys don't know, gCenter Edge is basically an experimental version of the gCenter software. The gCenter team basically develops the new functions, the features, the optimizations, and the bug fixes in the experimental version. And as soon as they confirm that everything is working very well, then they can merge the code for the experimental version with the main version, which is the version that everyone uses. The latest Edge version, we've seen a pretty large increase in downloads, about 810 so far, which is a pretty big jump from around 400 to 500 that we are typically seeing. So that means that we have about 800 people actively testing the new version. I think they also shared like we have more than 60,000 active users for gCenter, something like that, or 60,000 downloads or something. So I think that's like a pretty big group of people, and I think they're going to see a lot of benefit to the updated version of the software. Next up, gControl panel computer. As you guys might have seen in the news, the pricing for the RAM and the memory has gone up significantly over the last year or so. Unfortunately, that means that we had to increase the price for the gControl panel computers to reflect the change in the price of the memory. We are continually monitoring the cost of the memory in the market so that as soon as the prices go down, we can readjust. So you'll probably see a small increase in the price for the gControl panel computer. Personally, I haven't really seen any, like we have updated that price a couple weeks ago. We haven't really seen a change in the demand, going with the times, I guess. Certified VFDs. This was kind of a long time coming. We had some delays in shipping the certified VFDs. I'm excited to say back in December, we had about 40 units like come through as like our early batch for testing and go through the certification process. I believe we got another 600-ish units. I can't remember exactly the number, but like a pretty large number of VFDs just come in, which means that this Wednesday, which is tomorrow, we will complete the certification process and they will be starting to ship out to customers. I believe that customer service team has informed a lot of people that they will be shipping in February, and given that they came in on the timeline expected, I'm hoping that those units will ship out slightly earlier than what customers have anticipated. We do have a pretty large backlog, which the first 600 will cover, but we will ship them out as quickly as possible. ATC, so the automatic tool changer, we continue to work on the development, a lot of work from Johan and Kevin to improve the software experience, so when they launch, everything will be ready to go. We had higher than expected demand for the ATC. We have sold out on the first batch. We've ordered another batch. We've updated our product page to reflect for users that are ordering the new ATC now that they will ship later. The first batch is expected to ship in late March, and the second batch is expected to ship in June. Essentially, we're waiting on the components and the parts and materials to arrive for us to start building the ATCs here in the next couple of weeks to a month. And then we've ordered another set of parts for the next batch which is expected to get here in June, and we'll do all the assembly for that soon. If you're curious to see how the whole system is put together, Johan's done a really awesome breakdown video on all the components and parts that go into the automatic tool changer. So yeah, feel free to check that out. We just passed our 10-year anniversary at Sienci Labs, which is crazy. Thank you everyone for being part of our journey. I believe that the marketing team is putting out an anniversary video. We have the party. I think by the time this video goes out, we will have concluded the party, but I'm excited to see everyone there. We are also expanding the team. We're looking for people in the business development and to join our finance team, to join our production team, everywhere. So we do have posts on Indeed that we try to keep updated. If you feel like there isn't a job posting relevant to your skill set, there is a link in our website. You can go to our website and you can just apply and share your information there. Also, I forgot to mention, we're knocking down another wall here in the building, which will add about another 3,000-ish square feet of office space, because we're kind of slowly outgrowing the space that we have. So February will be also another month where we'll be expanding the office as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I guess we'll catch you in the next update.